Hello and welcome to Reviews. Today is New Comics Wednesday, and I am so excited. If you remember when I was reading that Avengers issue, I got really excited just by the ad for the Fantastic Four, the new series. They had different covers at my comic shop, as you know. This is first issue, legacy numbering 646. I kind of like the way they're doing that, at least. They'll probably change back to the original numbering at some point, but they had a variant covers, but I was like, no, I need the cover with the members. I really like this cover. And besides, Bearded Reed looks badass. I'm a big fan of the Fantastic Four. In fact, I'm waiting for Walgreens to come out with the Thing figure so I can complete my Walgreens exclusive set of the Fantastic Four figures. So, yeah, I really, really like them. Um, this was written by Dan Slott, and I was cautiously optimistic. Um, I liked his Superior Spider-Man. I liked his She-Hulk, but after Superior Spider-Man ended and went to Amazing, I didn't really care for the book, and I did end up dropping it. And of course, Slott likes to spurg out on social media, but hey, I'm a fair guy. I can separate the artist from the art. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this issue. Now, as you may remember, last month, July 6th, I believe, Steve Ditko died. Um, so we have a pretty much a 4-page tribute to him, which is really nice to see. You know, he's a founding father, basically, of Marvel, and just a comics legend. And so it's nice to see um, that Steve Ditko got his due here. So let's go ahead. We'll go into the story proper. I'm going to try and do this not so. I'm going to do this quickly. It's kind of a thick issue, and try and go through this as quickly as possible. It starts off with the Thing, the FF, the ever-loving Fantastic Four. People got tons of ways to describe our team. You know, Johnny, go over here, superheroes, adventurers, imaginauts. That last one isn't even a word. I looked it up. We got Derpy Reed right here. And of course, Reed talks about being a band of explorers working as one. And Sue's comment is that they're adventurers on the greatest adventure of all, being part of a family. Now, in case you don't know, Sue and Johnny are brother and sister. Reed and Sue are married. Of course, we got their kids. Reed and Ben are best friends. They were college roommates. And they actually, in the early days of the FF, back in the 60s, they actually served in World War II together. Of course, that's been sliding timeline. That's no longer part of canon, but Slot already has me because the best Fantastic Four stories, the ones that really get it, are the ones that understand they are a family, first and foremost. That is what is great about the team. So, but this, of course, at the end of Secret Wars, Reed and Sue and the kids were the off exploring the multiverse, rebuilding it after everything was destroyed. So, um, Ben went to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Johnny kicked around with the Inhumans. And Johnny's hopeful that Reed and Sue and the kids are still alive. Ben, however, he's not. So we have this lateral split here as we follow the two characters in the beginning. Here we have Ben with his blind girlfriend, Alicia Masters, looking at kittens at an animal rescue. And Alicia says, I don't know, I always thought that someday that I'd have pets. And she's getting Ben to feel the cats purring, and as they're crawling all over him, that maybe these little fuzz buckets ain't so horrible. Meanwhile, we have Johnny Storm and Wyatt Wingfoot at a Mets game. And Johnny's singing, and Wyatt says, Huh, Johnny, has anyone ever told you that you have a beautiful set of pipes? Keep that in mind for a minute. So Johnny ends up on the celebrity Jumbotron, and Wyatt makes a joke. Fine, but if they switch it to the kissing cam, I'm not kissing you. But Johnny is a playa, so he has no problems finding girls asking for his autograph, getting getting selfies, and oh, hey, look, it's Marika Tamaki. Sorry, sir. Sorry. Easy joke. Excuse me. However, somebody shoots off a flare gun, and the Fantastic Four appears in the sky. In the early issues of the Fantastic Four under Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, this is how they signaled each other, was with flare guns. So everybody looks up excitedly to see the flare, because in the universe, the Fantastic Four are well loved. Their identities are publicly known. They're basically celebrities. Well, everybody's excited except for Ben and, of course, Alicia, who can't see the flare. Meanwhile, at the ball game, the announcer cuts over to the Jumbotron. Attention, Mr. Storm, we thought you should see this. This is happening live over Manhattan. It is so live that we're reusing the same panel art in the Jumbotron. So, of course, Johnny being excited. I knew it. Wyatt says, does this mean what I hope it means? It means duty calls, Wyatt. And with no regard for the people sitting around him, he flames on and takes off. Okay, little nitpick. Wyatt Wingfoot is Native American. Maybe I'm just taking this a little personally, but that's the most Caucasian dude I've seen. He's the same skin tone as the blonde-haired Johnny Storm. So, hey, colorist, can we fix that next time? Hash brown tag, whitewash Wyatt Wingfoot. Yes, I'm making fun of Tumblr. So, Ben is not so excited to see the flare. As he says, we're done here. And of course, the animal rescue ladies, oh, of course, you have to get to work. Good luck, Mr. Grimm. He's just like, yeah, it's time to go, and gathers up his shopping bags. And Alicia says, I'm blind, I'm not deaf. I heard what people were saying. That was a Fantastic Four signal, wasn't it? Well, if you heard them saying it was the Fantastic Four signal, maybe? Anyway, she gets him to sit down to find out what's wrong. And Ben says, I don't know how to say this. I've been keeping this from everybody. And I'll skip the top part of the page because it's just Johnny flying around excitedly and people cheering him on. But as he says, Ben's not hoping for a miracle, that he was there on their last big adventure, and Reed, Sue, and the kids are gone for good. And whoever set that flare off, it ain't them. So Johnny goes to the source of the flare, and it's the Yancey Street Kids. Now, the Yancey Street Gang are a gang that Ben Grimm used to be a part of, when he grew up on Yancey Street, and in the early days, they basically punk Ben, play tricks on him, kind of a harmless street gang, not like the Bloods or the Crips, and it was just like brotherly love. So I guess this is Yancey Street, the next generation. So it's kind of weird that these kids have a flare gun, but we'll find out where they got from later. For now, we have this reporter who's telling everyone that no, the Fantastic Four are not back, that was a fake, and gives a nice little one-page kind of origin story. Explores Rocket, Gamma Ray's powers. Although they reused the Anchor Woman's art 6 times, 4 on this page, once over here, and once on the next page when she goes to celebrities to find out how they feel about the prank. Saying, of course, no comment. Medusa and Crystal of the Inhumans. I have faith in Susan Storm Richards. If there's a way, she will see her family home safe. No Reed there, just Sue. Got it. Crystal, who's off and on dated Johnny Storm, says that she feels bad for Johnny and Ben because they've lost the most. Luke Cage, who was a temporary member for a while when he was Power Man, says that as a father, he feels bad for the kids. And oh, let's cover this up here, because here we have a woman talking about the perpetrators are minors, and she's on her way to represent them. And who is this woman with the short bangs and these long things? Oh, it's Jen Walters. Huh. Okay, I know everyone expected this, but let's see. We have Avengers, we have Squirrel Girl, we have The Life of Captain Marvel, and now Fantastic Four gives us our fourth interpretation of Jennifer Walters in under a month. Okay, this one may not be so bad. Different hairstyle, but where does this fit in? So we have Johnny and Wyatt coming up to the police precinct as Jennifer is bailing the kids out. And wait a minute, are those shoulder pads? And then we have this hairstyle with bangs, and you know what? I just figured it out. This isn't Jennifer Walters. This is Dakota North. Seriously, anyone else remember Dakota North from the 80s? Yeah, that's what she looked like. That's who this is. Excuse me. But anyway, Jen says that she was hired to release the kids because no one was hurt, and turns out the client isn't pressing charges. And oh, then we had this little scene. Hi, Wyatt. You're looking good. You too, Jen. You guys are really doing this here now? And the kids, what's going on? They used to date. Oh. So, everyone knows that Jennifer Walters is She-Hulk. You know, public identity. Everyone knows that she was part of the Fantastic Four. Public identity. Same with Johnny Storm. Now, is it really common knowledge that Wyatt Wingfoot, almost like a hanger-on of the Fantastic Four, that this pale guy, this non-Indian looking guy, and Jennifer used to date? Yeah, I don't think that would really be common knowledge. Maybe if he was another superhero, yeah. But I doubt these kids would have any idea about that. This part here would make more sense if they somehow worked it in from Johnny's dialogue. You know, hey, I know you guys used to date and all, but anyway, find out that the person who is not pressing charges against the kids is the Thing, because they broke into his place and stole the original signal flare. Which I'm going to try and speed things up a little bit, which leads Ben to talk about another gadget here, one of the FF's lost tales. Because, quite frankly, we was lost. So we have the Fantastic Four, and although you can't see them, Wyatt's on the other side. We have Alicia and Franklin. This is kind of weird how this fits in the timeline, because if Wyatt's there, and shouldn't they be in the black and white burn uniforms instead of what they're wearing now? Anyway, continuity, possible snafu there, but continuity mistake. But anyway, they have this new friend, Astronomica, who has this staff that will get them home, because they're at the crossroads of infinity, a pathway to every place in existence. And it turns out that her scepter will light the way home, but one of them has to be able to power it up. Well, we have stretching, we have invisibility and force field, strength, fire. But as she says, this isn't about turning invisible or stretching or flame or strength. I need to know which one of you is the best singer. And even things like, yeah, did not see that coming. His face sells it. Lady, that's ludicrous. And Reed pipes in, actually makes perfect sense. All beings vibrate at the same quantum frequency as their home dimension. It only stands to reason that generating pitch-perfect tones at that frequency. So she asks, we're running out of time. Your best singer. Tell me. Now. And of course we have Sue. It's me. And then everyone else. Ben, Reed, Wyatt, Alicia, Franklin, and Johnny all saying that Johnny is the best singer. Of course, sibling rivalry here. It's a cute little moment. Yeah, the whole singing is goofy, but hey, Superman killed Darkseid by whistling at him, so this is actually kind of a neat thing, and it actually, like Reed said, yeah, it's plausible. But what's weird about this is, remember earlier at the ball game where Wyatt makes the comment about uh, I've already lost it. Where Wyatt makes the comment to Johnny about having a beautiful set of pipes. Well, he obviously already knows that he has a beautiful set of pipes, which I'm assuming that this pale guy, who's the same complexion as Reed Richards, as everyone else, is, I'm assuming that's Wyatt because the slick back hair and who would be hanging out at the time. But he obviously knows that Johnny sings, that he has an excellent singing voice. So why was he making a comment earlier about his pipes? And by the way, hash brown tag, whitewash white Wingfoot. Yes, I do say hash brown tag. It's an inside joke. And we have this little kind of pouting moment of Sue, where she's like, wait, I thought I was the best singer. She goes to Reed. Subjectively, yes, but objectively, as a scientist, I have to say that Johnny's timbre is. Then he nopes out of the conversation. She even goes to Franklin. Please, mommy, don't sing. So yeah, it's these cute family moments. It's nice. So anyway, Johnny has to sing their way home by singing Wayne Newton's Dankeschön. Of course, because it has the line in there about going back to Central Park. I recall Central Park in the fall. And Alicia says, I could see that light. Ben's surprised. And Astronomica says, but the truth is, some things you see with your eyes, the way home is something you see with your heart. That's another great way of summing up the Fantastic Four. It's about heart. And so, yeah, they make it back home, and Johnny can stop singing, but he keeps singing, so they all yell at him. So, yeah, it's kind of cute. So, as Thing finishes his tale, he has this part of her magic gem, of Astronomica's magic gem, that said if he was ever lost again, it'd help him find his way home. And he says he's been lost for some time, without his family, without hope, but now he's ready for his biggest adventure yet. And so we go to Alicia Masters. Sorry, it's late here, and my voice is cutting out. So we cut to Alicia Masters here, and Ben comes to the door, and oh, look at that, he's kneeling, tells her to go to her right, check her 3 o'clock, because, spoiler, he is proposing to her. And we see that glowing stone, which is probably that stone that Astronomica gave to him, made into a ring, set into a ring, which that might... I'm calling it now that this is going to play a role at some point later. And so, yeah, Ben proposes to Alicia. She accepts. So we cut to Alicia and Ben on a rooftop diner. They're dressed up. They've called Johnny over. It's like, wait, you're in a suit. Are you supposed to be in a... Am I supposed to be in a suit? Are we going to court again? And Ben breaks the news that they're engaged and asks Johnny to be his best man. Now, this is a nice little scene, too, because Ben and Johnny have always played tricks on one another, kind of a brother-in-law rivalry, but they, at their heart, have always cared about each other. And Ben is asking Johnny to be his best man, so of course Johnny yells no. And Alicia's like, oh my. And of course Ben gets upset that he's ruining his moment. And as Johnny says, there's only one person in the whole world who should be the best man at Benjamin J. Grimm's wedding, and that's Reed Richards. And of course, Ben's getting upset that Johnny ruined his moment. And Johnny calls Ben out for losing his faith, that Reed and Sue are still out there. Johnny takes off, flying up into the night sky, and starts yelling out for Reed. And he knows he has to have a way to hear him and see him. And if he does, do it. Show him a sign. And just nothing. So Johnny slowly comes back down. And Ben realizes that it's now starting to hit him. And as Johnny flames off, he says, "It's true, isn't it? They're really gone." And Ben says, "I'm sorry." And they all group in for a hug as Johnny's been in denial that Reed and his brother-in-law and his sister are gone. And then we cut over to another planet where we see Reed working on something. And Reed asks Sue, "Do you believe in me?" She says, "Always. And that is why I can do the impossible." And so what is Reed doing? We see a light, and we have Ben, unbelievable. Alicia's asking, "What's going on?" And that smile on Johnny's face just sells it, as the rest of the world is reacting. And we see all this glowing. Of course, Luke Cage falls back into his "Sweet Christmas" comment. And yeah, then we have Wyatt Wingfoot and Jennifer Walters looking up, and Wyatt saying, "Oh yeah," because Reed has set up a giant forward flare, for the whole world to see. That is the signal that he is sending. And Johnny smiled. "It's about damn time." So yeah, this is the first part. Sorry, someone's driving down the road with a loud stereo going. This is actually good. This is the first part of the book. There is a backup, and yeah, this is what a Fantastic Four book is. It hits all the right beats. It hits all the right moments. It has the heart. So we have a whitewashed Wyatt Wingfoot hash brown tag. I'm just going to move this aside. Let's look at the figures for a minute, because I just don't want to get the backup pages, the backup story. I'm going to skip a few pages, because it's really about Dr. Doom. And as you know, Dr. Doom was planning to be Iron Man for a while there, and now he's back in the People's Republic of Latveria, and a woman who, what was her name? Zora, I think it is. Zora Yukovic. Goes to Castle Doom and finds him, and focus. She's a proud daughter of Doomstot, and of course this means nothing to Doom. And she's explaining that the people of Latveria have been waiting for his return and to liberate them. And as Doom says, I've been a god, played at being a hero, and I paid most handsomely for it. Nice little pun there. Here, I'll show you. This should put an end to it. Tell me, woman, is this the face of a savior? Of course, his face is all destroyed again. Of your angel? Your motherland has suffered scars in your absence. She's endured dictators and strongmen. Trust me, she would more than welcome any face of Doom. But what she needs to see is your true face, as she hands him his mask. So he eventually, she talks him into that this mask is a sign of hope. And he asks her name again. He thanks Zord for reminding him. There's a visage I was born with, the one face fate would keep forcing upon me. But this is a face I chose. And then Doom shouts out to the people, "Good people of Latveria, hear me. Rise up. Our long night is over. This is a new day of Doom." And Doom basically turns off all the Doom bots that are keeping the people hostage under the new regime. And he comes out in basically a cape and a loincloth. But this is Doom. Doom, he's also a master of magic. He doesn't need his armor. No one fighting on his side. He doesn't need his robots. What Latveria needs is to bear witness to watch me free them all from this tyranny by the strength of my will and by my hand alone. So Doom is basically back to being a villain. And yeah, let me have the next issue. This backup story is pretty much just a setup to bring Doom back. To be honest, I kind of liked where he was. I did drop the Iron Man book that he was in, I'll be honest, but I did kind of like the kind of anti-hero route he was going, the kind of what they've done with Loki, who is also now kind of looks like he might have gone completely bad. Um, and yeah, it feels like more of a regression on this, but I do like it when they focus on Liberia, how the people see Doom, and I did have to skip some of this because I didn't want to get a copyright strike, but yeah, Liberia's seen better days. It's under dictator rulership, which seems like they're just giving up one dictator for another, and then there's a silly little Impossible Man book basically pointing out that the Fantastic Four is not reunited yet, but they will be next issue. Yeah, it's already been 26 minutes. I went way long on this, but it's a sick book. And I'll be honest, I like this issue. I am glad to see this back, and I think Slott did a good job on this. I'll be reading it, and now again, this is just the beginning of the story, how they're getting the band back together. Don't really know what the overall plot is, although I am saying it right now that this ring that Ben has given Alicia, it's going to play a part in this story. I have a feeling this is going to play a part in getting Reed and Sue home. If not that, it will come up again later. So, anyway, it's late. I'm also 27 minutes into this, so let me just say thanks for watching.